Next time on Made in Maine, the winter sports industry. We'll look in on the people that make and groom snow at Sugarloaf USA.
And tonight we're going to be talking about winter sports. A place like Sugarloaf, you might not think that they'll ever get enough snow, but the conditions are right almost the entire season long, thanks to the people who make, groom the snow, and we'll be headed up there. We're also going to be taking a look behind the scenes at Maine's only professional sports team, the Maine Mariners. And I'm here on frozen Thompson Lake in Oxford, and we'll be doing some ice fishing and talking to the people who make these tip-ups. So bundle up and stay tuned for Made in Maine. I'll give up the comforts of home here for the moment. Hi, everybody. We're out on Thompson Lake today in Oxford with Reggie Corbett. Reggie, how are you?
Not too bad.
Good to have you here today. And Reggie with his father-in-law, Charles Burke, responsible for manufacturing a better fish trap, as the case may be. This one here is one of the original handmade models. How old is this one now?
Right around 15 years.
So they do definitely last, don't they?
Yeah.
You got all the tricks of the trade that you need for fish trapping all built in?
Yes, we do. One real good feature of them is the durability of them.
Yeah.
To last year, I've had some other traps that doesn't last so long. These are made to last you a lifetime if you take care of them.
And the business, of course, is already starting to boom. People are finding out about it now?
Yes, they are. We did own a store, and we've gone from the store business into manufacturing these full-time.
Full-time. Well, we're going to take a look at the shop in just a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, folks, I'd like to take you on a little trip to ski country. You know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, if you wanted to go skiing, it depended entirely on the snow. If you had a big snowy winter, well, then you had the best skiing, and you'd remember it for years. And then again, if there wasn't much snow, well, then the skiing wasn't much either. And although it's nice to be able to count on a foot of packed powder whenever you like, you can almost do that now. That, of course, is due to the folks who make and groom the snow. We're going to find out more about that and how that's done right here in Maine as producer Charlie Rose will show us from Sugarloaf, USA in Carabasset.
Snow, 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 snow. It won't be long before we'll all be there with snow.
Snow, snow. I want to wash my hands, my face and hair with snow.
Snow. Every winter, thousands of New Englanders head south to escape it, while at the same time thousands more head north for ski areas and mountains like Sugarloaf, USA, to meet winter head-on.
How I'm longing to ski through the snow.
Those glistening houses that seem to be built of snow.
Snow, oh, to see a mountain covered with a quilt of snow. Snow, snow, snow.
Ski areas learned long ago what any New Englander knows. There's one thing about the weather you can count on. It's probably going to change. So the challenge that a place like Sugarloaf faces is to create good ski conditions regardless of the weather.
We start out in early November, and we're waiting for cold nights, and we expect rain then. So if it snows like it did this year, it's kind of a bonus. Initially, when we start making snow on a trail, of course, there's a lot of rocks and bushes that we have to cover up. So what we do is we put down a heavier, wetter snow to start with, and put down 2 to 3 feet of good base depth with that heavier, wetter snow to cover rocks and, good durable stuff that'll set up and won't move around. And then towards the end of the period that we're on the trail, we'll dry the guns out and put, a foot or so of good dry skiable snow on it, and the trails come out real nice when they're done right.
We've gone from having an old, antiquated snowmaking system to having a really up-to-date snowmaking system. So our job over the years has gotten a lot easier. You have a better water supply, better air supply, better guns to work with, and the design of the guns has come a long, long way since when I first started making snow, 10 years ago. The new guns are so much better than the old snowmaking guns. It's like night and day.
15 years ago, people didn't think anything of, blue ice and bumps. And, now everybody expects, flat tilled or powder-made surfaces, something you can dig a ski edge into and stop. I think most people don't realize what goes on at a ski area at night.
During the day when they're skiing, or even on weekends, our operation is downsized. So you really don't get to see it all running at the same time. If for some reason we can light up the whole hill at night, when we got 60, 80 snow guns running up there, everybody go, holy moly, look at all the snow coming out of here.
Every evening around 4, after the last of the skiers are down off the mountain and are either headed back home or are unwinding at one of the many bars and restaurants at the base of the mountain, the workday is really just beginning for the people who make and groom the snow. Sugarloaf operates a fleet of 8 piston-bully snow grooming machines at a cost of around $150,000 apiece, and with mechanics on duty day and night to maintain them, it's not unlike operating a fleet of small airplanes.
Typical snowcat, we probably put 1,800 hours on in a season. They're built like a bulldozer in the sense that they're strong, but they're built like an aircraft because they have to be light to climb and maneuver.
Basically, it's just flatten down all these moguls a little bit, make a nice smooth trail, because when the skiers ski it, it bowls right out. The edges get all kinds of snow, and the middle winds up looking bare, and all kinds of bare spots. And so we just cut the edges and windrow it into the middle and smooth it out, kind of like grading a dirt road, more or less. And the tiller behind chews it up a little bit and takes the air out of it and packs it down and leaves this nice corduroy trail behind you.
It's a good-looking machine. You got lights on it, and it looks like it's a fun thing to do. It looks romantic, I guess, to a lot of people until they actually do it. And, it's heavy equipment. It vibrates a lot, and you spend 8-9 hours in one. You get out of it, you feel, you've been in it. I feel like I drove to New York City and back when I get out of one. When the snowmakers are going full bore and we're going full bore, there's probably 20 people running around the hill at one time in the middle of the night. I mean, we're separate departments, but we're one team, and we work real close together.
To make snow, you need air under pressure and water under pressure. You have to have more water pressure than you have air pressure. The air goes into the back of the gun, the water goes in ahead of the air, and out the gun it goes. This gun rips water molecules apart and sprays them out into the atmosphere, and that's how you make snow. If you look at the particles of snow that come out of a snow gun, they're not really a flake like you see falling out of the sky. The snow that's coming out of the snow gun is more or less just a little ice cube, and it withstands thaws and rains and skier traffic and of course the grooming machines a lot better than natural snow does.
While making snow may fundamentally be a pretty simple process, moving enough air and water up and through the miles of pipe that line the slopes is not. To do the job, Sugarloaf uses these 14-stage, 700-horsepower pumps, each of which pumps 750 gallons of water per minute. And these 3 1,250-horsepower compressors, each of which is moving 5,700 cubic feet of air per minute. Start adding all that horsepower up, and you're talking a lot of electricity.
The snowmaking department alone can pull down between 4 to 6 megawatts, depending on what we're doing, which is quite a bit of power. The household bill comes in kilowatts, and our bill comes multiplied by 1,000, so that gets you up into the megawatt category.
To monitor that electricity flow and what all that machinery is doing, an operator is on duty around the clock at this computer station. Gary Phillips, who helped install similar systems in his native Australia, is one of those operators.
Someone's just called guns in on a particular trial,
I just bring it up on the screen and I can place that gun into the computer. I'm here basically to monitor the machinery, the compressors, the pumps, the changing weather conditions, temperatures, humidity, and relay any of this type of information to the guys on the mountain to keep them updated as to what's going on. Just about everything that happens on the mountain is monitored through this computer here.
While computers have changed the business of snowmaking, grooming has seen its share of innovations as well. Most recently, the introduction of the winch cat.
The winch cat has a winch mounted on the bed, and there's a boom on top of the winch that can swing around. The cable goes through the boom. And we use the winch cat exclusively on steep terrain. And we hook it up. We have dead men in the ground, or we hook it up to a big tree if there's one handy. We back it down the trail and push snow up the trail. The skiers love the surface the winch cat leaves. They rototill it, and you can dig up a lot more snow while you're pulling uphill with it. And it's a thing of the future. We have so much steep terrain here. The snowmaking end of the business, I think, is going to see more automation. We already have. Always going to have snowcat drivers for a long time to come, as far as I can see.
The wind changes, the weather changes, how you get around with the lifts. You're moving gear, you're going to different sites all the time, you see different people, you see different things. It's just, the job changes daily. It's never the same, so it doesn't get boring. It's a tough job. I mean, you're out there with the elements, and it's a lot of hard work, but when people come up and say, Jesus, skiing's great, and we're having a good time, it really gives you a good feeling.